lesson plans are like the blueprint for a construction project. In the case of construction, an architect is involved, construction manager is involved, and a myriad of other construction workers are involved. But in the case of lesson planning, there is only one person involved. Only one person plans and executes. Very often very only one teacher. Hence, it demands excellent attention and carefulness. Very often I have discussed this matter with many teachers, even with those working outside our country. I could receive somewhat the same response. Oh, it is just a formality. We may not like it, but what to do? System demands. So we need to make. Frankly speaking, this was the response in majority of cases. True, this was my feeling too, and it is true, I think, when it comes to be filling that thick book which demands too much hectic working and writing. After making it all, what we are going to do with that book at the end of the year? After making it all, at the end of the year, it's all dumped up in the heaps or left to be buried in the dusty racks of school office. Any exceptions? There was one headmaster with whom I worked who had the sheer joy of burning it all at the end of the session, justifying that if it is not burned, the teachers will use it again. That was his concern. So he was just burning, literally burning, not exaggerating. You may not believe me, but he was just burning it as a ceremony. Okay, this happened not in our country anyway. So naturally, the teachers will hate such sort of lesson planning. It's very natural that they will not like such sort of ritualistic work. That is true about conventional lesson planning. Okay, let me say, once again emphasize, that is still true about conventional lesson planning, which had been reduced to a formality due to the circumstances. Let us blame the circumstance. That was the situation, and then we made it like that. Now, with all the technology, improved technology, against the spirited competitions prevailing, remember, we cannot forget that fact. We are just living in a very competitive world. Yes, the teacher enthusiast cannot resort to such an outdated sort of planning. It's high time that we think once again. It's time for dynamic lesson planning. So this video is all about dynamic lesson planning. Please be patient and watch. The pandemic has revolutionized everything. As we all know, we jumped off from the cliff without fear or hesitation into the world of technology. There was no choice. Great God, now we know what to do with technology. A dynamic lesson is like a growing plant. It spreads and roots and gives flowers eternally. So let me compare it to a plant. Dynamic lesson planning is just like, dynamic lesson planning is just like a growing plant. Once you plant a tree, definitely it will make a natural growth. If you do attend to it, it will have a greater growth. It is like a living unit. A dynamic lesson plan is like a living unit, a breathing organism, and it should be or needs to be nourished. Unlike the conventional plan that gets buried or burned, as we have seen, here we all need to nurture it. A dynamic lesson plan naturally requires our nurturing and our care, eternal care. Maybe instead of a single teacher, multiple teachers can join in this effort to make the saplings sprout into gigantic trees braving many winters. I mean, we can share it and make it improve, cutting its unwanted branches too. Someone told me, though dynamic lesson planning is a really great idea, it is time consuming. Yes, it's time consuming. But if we are the people who have really planted saplings in our gardens and we could care for those plantations, watering and nurturing, then only we know the sheer delight of seeing the first flowers coming out of it. Yes, we will be privileged to get delighted to see the growth and the consequent flowers. The dynamic planning is not meant for 1 year. Don't think that it's just made for a year as a ritual and is thrown to dustbin. No, to recycle bin to make it precise. No, we are planting it for the years to come. Yes. Well, once a plan is made, it is alive for the rest of your career. But should be improved upon. A good lesson plan should be an ever-shifting document, as somebody said. It should be an ever-changing document. It is a flexible stuff. It's a document, of course, but it is dynamic. It is dynamic in the sense it's not static. It is growing. It roots and spreads like a tree. So I am continuing that imagery of planting a tree and planting sapling and making it a tree. Yes, a dynamic one that a teacher is always looking. Okay, a dynamic lesson plan should be always improved upon. Yes, a good lesson plan should be an ever-shifting document. A dynamic one that a teacher is always looking to improve upon. No lesson plan should be viewed as perfect. Okay, that is another important point. Don't say that I have made the perfect lesson plan for this year and for the coming years. No, perfection is still open to operation. We can still make it more perfect. Only sky is the limit. No lesson plan should be viewed as perfect, but instead as something that can always be made better. But actually speaking, there is no scope for such betterment with respect to the written lesson plans that we have been making all these years. Even the spelling mistakes in a conventional plan go uncorrected, unnoticed, deliberately. Let me make it very clear. Yes, because nobody bothers to go back and read it again. Once it is written forever. And if you want to correct the mistakes, how can you correct it? Even if the mistakes are found, then there will be a lot of whiteners and correction fluids used, and in short, the whitewashing will be very resentful to all. Yes, a person who reads this lesson plan also will hate that because of too much of correction, and it's not user friendly. We can keep our dynamic plans in a digital portfolio, okay, and that we can access and review at any time. You can access and review it anytime. We should review it. Yes, what went wrong in that plan? Okay, now it's time for me to correct that. Yes, instead of making them do this exercise, I can think of making them do another way. Okay, so suddenly I can change that plan. We can again use this dynamic plan from anywhere, anytime, with the help of online teaching sites and aids. Yes. We just need to carry a small PDF in our mobile device or in a pen drive, and great teaching and learning can happen any moment from anywhere in a big way. Let me delineate how to do that. A dynamic lesson plan in the context of our new technologies is essentially a computerized one. A sample is displayed here to show up its positive side and dimensions. First, its flexibility and its ability to recycle back to life. Remember, this can be printed out and kept too, like our ordinary plan. So there is no difference actually in terms of physical presence of the plan. It can also be printed out. It is very user friendly, and its contents can be presented in any shape or size, definitely with illustrations, pictures and colors. Another speciality of this is it is enlivened with dynamic hyperlinks. Well, we know the utility of hyperlinks. The whole cyber world works with hyperlinks actually. Hyperlinks with which we can navigate across our own plans or plans made by others, or we can just browse and navigate across the pages of websites which are useful. So in this plan we just try to make an amalgamation of, we try to bring all categorized hyperlinks here together. So that's the greatest utility of this plan. All the hyperlinks which are required for learning and research, and for any higher level you can go up to. Or you can again take the plan to the channel of entertainment, yes, how to learn things through entertainment. Or you can take this plan to the way of assessments. There are many tools available on internet with which we can easily make assessments or assessments of their understanding and rate it. We can give mark. These tools will help us to give proper mark. There is no subjectivity involved in that mark. This happens. The subjectivity is very natural in evaluation. We'll have subjectivity over there always as a shadow. It will cast a shadow on its our subjective feelings for the student. Our subjective state of mind also affects evaluation. So there is no harm like that if you use the internet tools for evaluation. So first of all, it's user friendly. Contents can be presented in any shape or color. Yes. Another thing is it is enlivened with dynamic hyperlinks, and these days we see lots of digital libraries floating in the ocean of internet. So even big libraries can be floating. Yes, you just have to click on this, click open the PDF file and click on the certain links or pictures. Behind the pictures, they are nothing other than hyperlinks. Fine. So with the smallness of their size, they can become a pivot around which the teacher can set up his or her lesson from anywhere in the world, provided our digital plan is well set and well made. So our small PDF file, which is our lesson plan, will become a pivot, the central point of a wheel. The teacher can just fix that wheel somewhere, and the wheel will start rolling, rotating, and you can operate this from anywhere. You don't have to be in front of a computer screen. You may be surprised with that idea. Yes, it's possible. A teacher can plan and set up his class with a set of pre-recorded videos. The duration of these videos matters a lot. Don't make long duration videos. So pre-recorded videos can be installed or can be stored, and the hyperlinks will connect students with those videos, and other study materials. So a teacher can organize varied activities and conduct classes or conduct even assessments even when he is or she is not there virtually in the class, or when he is not in a situation to be present directly in the class. So that's advantage. The hyperlinks connecting his Google Drive materials will render him great service. I'm just saying Google Drive because we are all familiar with the Google Drive. There are many other storage sites which will help you free, which all give you free access and free storage. So wherever it is, we can store it there, and the hyperlink can be brought here to this small document, a PDF document, which is called our lesson plan. Of course, the platform, that is the format for school standardization, can be made first. So first we have to create a common format for all teachers, and then we need to just fill up those gaps. So this format, there is no need to type the format again and again. The questions in the lesson plan can be just kept there permanently, and that can be reflected in a different color. And what we enter as our responses to those questions can be in a different font color again, so that it can easily be distinguished. Alright. Now again, there is actually no need to type in the whole text. We do have certain application softwares which can convert our sounds into text. In the setting up of our computer, you can just see that speech recognition technology is there, with which we can train our system with our voice modulations and pronunciation, So in course of time, the computer will recognize our speech very easily without committing mistakes. So there is a scope like that also. Those who are not willing to type continually can adopt this technology. You can experiment. Your responses or answers for the questions in the lesson plan can be typed in or can be recorded and can be converted to text. Okay, now then select or highlight that particular part of the text from where you want to create the hyperlink. So the first step is highlight the needed portion and then right click. You will see a sub menu coming. That highlighted part can be just a part of the sentence or a whole sentence or a whole line or a whole paragraph also, no problem. But whatever is highlighted will act as the hyperlink. Okay, and then when you see the hyperlink in the sub menu, you can click on that hyperlink and then naturally it will ask for the link. Okay, so there you can paste the URL of your website where you want to go to, or in the case of connecting with another file, you can just browse and get into that file that is stored in your device and click on that name, and naturally that route is created in the hyperlink is created, and then click OK. Once you create that link, it will be forever. What else is required? If you can sway your audience with these links, taking them to the great depth of research, colorful entertainment and enthusiastic involvement in assignments, and using the readily available tools which are available in the internet, then that will give you the result with graphical analysis. Some of the game quiz programs are really fascinating. Students keep demanding for more. We want more. Okay, they will say, "Miss, I just want more, before you wind up the class." So such interesting games are there, which are not like PUBG game or any other game. These games will take them without their own knowledge. They will take interest in the subject learning. They forget the difficulty of learning. They try to compete with others. They want to excel. They want to taste that honey, the sweetness of victory. Competing. A healthy competition is the net result. Okay. Even the backbenchers will try their hand to enjoy the thrill of victory. Okay. The joyful learning of even in assessments. Okay. Joyful learning is the motto. And then we can bring that joyful learning even in assessments. Okay. Even if all these things aren't made, just digitalizing the plan will reduce the monotony of writing, irredeemable and ritualistic writing. I am saying irredeemable because once you write it, you cannot correct it. Then it's gone. Okay, that's one thing. And nobody takes interest in that. I haven't seen a single teacher writing the lesson plan with a pleasant face. Then rest can be concluded easily. Then, even if the plan that we make now this year is not that sophisticated or complex, this is like a tree. I told you, this will grow. Okay, for example, in the garden, if you have not given water and manure for a year, the tree may not grow as such. But next year you have an inspiration. You want to care that tree. Definitely that will grow. Okay. Some of the items, lesson plan items which I made years before are still with me, surviving. The time I spent during those years, 10 years, 15 years before, are still with me. I can show examples. Okay, so that was made as a part of lesson planning only, as a sort of preparation for my teaching. Those things are still with me. Your lesson plan can become a reservoir of your own work over the course of years, or a great period of time. What all things you made, you can all bring it together in the form of hyperlinks. Okay. Even if all these things aren't made, digitalizing the plan will reduce the monotony of this ritualistic writing, and instead of writing, that time you can spend for making something creative. When you know that you have become instrumental and a driving force behind a creative world, that will give you joy, and the teacher becomes joyful. And teacher wants to do more. Only a joyful person can create something new. A person who is not pleasant, can only do the opposite perhaps. Okay, so let us spread the joy of making a good lesson plan, doing something new. It's always an inspiring thing when you are trying to do something new. You are spirited, okay, and then the exploration to reach that destination. Yes, and the innovation, the innumerable innovations, innumerable doors of innovation open in that exploration, new discoveries. Okay, these things are going to engage you very productively, engage you and your dear students together, engage you together in a world of bliss and creativity. Thank you very much.